Okay, Tony, I think I'm at the end, and it's my pleasure to introduce the next speaker, Guttorm, who also has, of course, been, I remember that Une, he said once that we were hiring a new CFO. And we were sitting there, the three of us, and then he said, well, here we have to make sure we get a really solid guy, because in the room now we have two clowns, and that one of them was not Guttorm, so to speak. So, Guttorm, I'm really glad that you're with us, proud of what you have accomplished with your team, and well, let's hear what's coming up.
I'll try.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Gisle.
After. Yeah.
It's great to be here again. Seems that great is the word of the day. Yes, I'll use most of my time to look into the future, definitely. This is the timeline, my agenda. We're here today, and you just heard about the rise of SuperOffice 8 into the cloud and out to the customers. I have split my presentation into two parts. One, I tend to look a little bit back. Sometimes there's things to learn from looking back as well, and maybe also get a little bit of inspiration. So my first part, 10 minutes or so, I'll have to look a little bit back and see what we can learn from the last 8 years, actually. And of course, what's interesting you most is maybe what's happening in the coming years. And we have created something we call the 2020 vision. And we'll look more into what that one contains. So, starting with looking back. This was what I presented on Expandable in 2008. And you didn't really have to be a rocket scientist to see that picture at that time, I think. But you had to be a developer to do something about it. And we have. We'll talk more about in a minute or so about how fast things are changing. And we all feel they are to some extent. But everything is changing, and things takes time sometimes as well. And you can see it was pretty, you probably read it. This is actually what we have delivered 7-8 years later. So the prediction was quite good. And it didn't happen in one big bang. It happens over time. We introduced the pilots in 2009, introduced the public, released the first version in 2010, a small one with a special price list, and then we went on and incrementally improved the service until we were able to introduce it actually last year, 2015, and to on-site customers this year. So it has been a journey. But it was a big job, and that's what I've tried to learn from it, actually. It was easy to see, both from a business and a technical perspective, that this was a big job. And what do you do with big jobs? You start immediately. If you postpone it, you do a mistake. So I think we succeeded quite well. We'll look more into that. At least I'm happy we started in 2008. And there were competitors that have been in that kind of business for 7-8 years already when we started. So, change and innovation. This is all about change and innovation. This was said, I have to use my glasses, probably a wise man. If you were a market leader 20 years ago, it was an 80% probability that you will still be that 10 years later. It doesn't sound like this today. If you're a market leader today, it's an 80% probability that you are not a market leader in 5 years. Things are really changing, and you see that from numerous examples in the world today. Things are really changing, especially maybe the last 3-4 years. And the companies, they see that it's really, really tough to be good for a very long time. So this is about innovation, and I think you're all sitting now thinking about Airbnbs and Uber and all this new kind of Netflix and that kind of stuff. But we're not really into that business, are we? We are a 25 years old company, 26 by now. We built a large customer base. We have lots of products, kind of an industry. We have to innovate on top of our legacy, our history. So actually what impresses me more, or at least as much, or inspires me more than these newcomers, is the old companies like IBM. Look what they have done. Look at their innovation. In the 70s or even the 80s, they were selling hardware only. Today, they deliver the most impressive artificial intelligence software there is, Watson. That's innovation. Lifting all their tens, hundreds of thousands of people, their software products, that's impressive. Siemens, Volvo. We went to a Swiss customer a couple of weeks ago. They're 240 years old. That's innovation. And now they're 132,000 people and doing great profits and everything that's innovation. So I think that's the challenge that we're kind of up to. We have to lift and innovate on top of what we have, not make totally, completely new. We just have to bring what we have into the future together with our customers and existing developers. We have to challenge the existing developers, not employ new ones. That's the secret, I think, one of the secrets. So, and this is much, these days it's about digital change. Because it happens so fast, it reduces the needs of manual labor, and it's really threatening to a lot of companies. Luckily, we are in the technology business, isn't it? And then it's about being agile these days. Agility, business agility is the new word, I think, out there. At least in Norway, it is. The Quick or the Dead, that's a nice book written, I think it's 10 years ago, actually. It was written about when the internet started being important to people. And then also a movie, a cowboy movie. So it's different perspectives. But we have to be quick, be fairly agile to meet the expectation from the markets. And there's a difference between what new customers are asking us about and existing customers. You know, we get a new customer, they will ask for all the new stuff. Existing customers are maybe more quiet about that stuff, but more concerned about improving what they already have. It's a difference. It's much tougher to meet the requirements of new customers. And it is easier if you see that you have to let your existing business, the profits and the revenues generated from your existing legacy business, fund your innovation. In these times, that's important. And the less profits you have coming from your old business, the more difficult it is to innovate, obviously. So take care of existing business, take care of existing products, because they are the ones that generate the revenues and your profits. And that's also with SuperOffice. So, Gisle mentioned it, disruptive innovation. And it said here that's innovations that really is disturbing, and it changes existing business models. And I think you can all see that. Gisle went through this. It improves a product or a service in a way that markets are not expecting. And to us, software as a service is that disruptive. If you don't meet this disruptiveness, you will be out of business. Today, maybe in weeks, months. In the software business, business applications, a few years maybe. But I think we will be in a different position today if we didn't have a cloud offering. Many of our customers will still be happy, but I don't think we will sell to almost no new customers at all. So this was our disruptive challenge. And to meet that, we had to build a new software architecture, multi-tenant, in the cloud, all the customers running on the same solution. We are delivering software in a different way. You push a few buttons. You don't install anything in the cloud, of course, you know this. And that requires a tremendous lot of automation and understanding how things are going to happen. Pricing and licensing changed according to the market expectations. Subscription is the new normal, Gisle said. We're not only a software company anymore, we are doing software and hosting, operations, upgrades, security, everything that comes in. So that is a big, big change for somebody who used to make software, put it in a box, and give it to somebody, and then go back to the research lab. It's a big change. And then if the SaaS model was disruptive to how we deliver products, the continuous delivery model, being able to deliver and deploy new versions of the software every third week was a disruptive challenge also for the way we develop our products. And we are fairly close to a nice result in this aspect. We deliver every third week, as you know, in online these days. That's what the customers expect, and the developers love it. That was a bit surprising. I think we've done that in a very short time. Lots of stuff had happened in that area the last year. It's still a bit heavy, still be automated, digitized. And I think we all covered this and know, but it's not only about changing the product and the services, but it also changes the business model, which is the most important and frightening thing about disruptive technologies coming. If you don't respond technically, the business model and a corresponding business model, you will be out of business in quite a short time. I take it you know these things, so I don't read through them. But this is what we've done. So I would say that the SuperOffice SaaS business model has been disruptive to us in the same way as the iPhone was to the mobile market in 2007. It completely changed the mobile market. There was almost 2 operating systems left. And not only operating systems, everything, the ecosystem. Netflix ruled out the video stores. Airbnb is for hotels these days. Uber is for taxis. Google and Facebook has been for media for 10 years now, almost. They are struggling over time, you can say. It takes time, but they have to meet these challenges every day. It's really challenged the old media industry. And the blockchain and the bitcoins and the payment and everything for banks, they're also struggling. So I'm happy we took this challenge and we're able to introduce the SuperOffice 8 concept, because it's much more, as you know by now, than a product release. It's cloud-enabled, the ability to choose between cloud, on-site, going back and forth, doing migrations. It's the pricing and licensing adapted to the new market needs. And it's a very heavily invested migration strategy behind bringing our customers from what they are now and onto 8 or even directly into the cloud if they want. So it's a complete adaptive strategy to be able to meet the future. And the result is, as Gisle showed you, that 80% choose this solution. We took a big risk, actually, removing the buy option. We discussed that again and again and again. I think many in SuperOffice also, they told me afterwards that, guys, you're crazy, taking away. This is what generated revenue from existing business for 25 years, and you're taking it away like this. We did, and it seems to work. Doesn't it, Gisle? And he also said that 20% choose to go directly from what they have today, version 7, and into the cloud. And we're happy about that as well. So I think this was necessary to survive. But we're not done. Never stops. There's nothing such thing as done in this business, isn't it? So what's next then? what comes after this, because now the future is behind. So what comes after 8? Oh, that's funny. Oh. I had the marketing department working for this for many weeks. I was so proud of you, Jennifer. Would be approved. I made it myself. Don't blame anyone. Okay. To look 4 or 5 years ahead, you have to go really high up. And it starts like this. Companies in Europe, companies in the world are concerned about growth. Nations are concerned about growth. And it should be green. Not only growth, but green growth. That's what we're striving for. That's what gives us wealth, food, everything. And for all times, actually, growth is fueled by productivity. You have to make more, produce more, better quality with the means you have at all times. You have to strive for that, always. And what is the most important thing in productivity? It's automation. And it's nothing new about this. I mean, there have been 3 industrial revolutions last 150 years or something, 200. First thing that happened was replacing the muscles with machinery. That was the first one. So it's actually not new to make a picture like this. What is new, especially these days, is that technology is the core of the automation idea. That's what's happening. And you see that in different programs. Now, this period is called the 4th Industrial Revolution. How many of you know that term? Yeah, not everybody. That was good. But so we had 3. Now the 4th is coming. And it's about digitizing, robots, that kind of stuff. The German Industry 4.0 project is the most impressive one, I think. It's coming from the government. They're investing billions of euro in research. They're tying their businesses, industrial businesses together. And it's all about robots and digitized artificial intelligence and everything. You haven't seen the last of German industry. It's very impressive. And it's coming from the top. World Economic Forum talks about this. The last conference was all about the 4th Industrial Revolution, digitizing. They're not only discussing technology. You probably noticed that. There's a lot of people concerned about their jobs. Robots, whether they are humanoid robots, which looks like people, or software robots. They're replacing the need for human labor. I'm not going to discuss that, but it's happening every day, already today. And the different governments and organizations in the different countries have programs, and they all talk about the same stuff. I'm sure I haven't investigated what it's called in the different countries, but they all have a program to fuel automation with technology and discuss that. So, where are SuperOffice in this picture? Of course, SuperOffice is technology. It's technology to help our customers to improve productivity in their marketing, sales, and service processes. So we are already there, using technology. So our vision in text is formulated like this. SuperOffice will contribute to customers' growth with software for intelligent, targeted, and personalized automation. Our focus is still CRM and our 3 main processes. So automation is the key word for the future for the next 4 years in SuperOffice. We'll look more into that. And after lunch, you will see Erik and Sverre also talk more about that. So today's word is actually not great. It's about automation. One more thing about automation. Intelligent, targeted, and personalized automation. How do you do that? I think this one, machine learning, artificial intelligence is going to change this picture. Maybe this, I don't know, but maybe this is the most important technology that we in this room have to cope with, to learn. You have to find out what this means. I'm not going to explain this now, but we together have to find out how this can be used inside our processes to do intelligent automation, not automation only by fixed program rules. We're past that already. So is this a brave new world? I've written a book that with that name is not so positive, you know, because this is about labor and challenging the labor life again. But my prediction is that next year when we meet, a lot of you guys will know what this means. There's a lot of new terms here. How many of you are familiar with this machine learning terms? Yeah, that's good. Yeah. So how are we going to put that into CRM? A chatbot? We don't have a chat client. Maybe we will have it in the future. But does it have to be a person? Can it be a robot answering? Can you talk to SuperOffice? You know, you have Siri and all these nice ladies' names. Hugo, can you talk to Hugo? Hugo, find me this, show me the calendar, create a selection, Hugo. Why not? Campaigns is only programmed by tracks. If you do this, then do that. Or can you learn from the future and make them more intelligent, personalized? The tracks sending out emails to customers, prospects. Make it more intelligent, not only pre-programmed. And maybe, I'm sorry about this, but maybe it's not that far away. If you want to explore this, go to Azure ML, Azure Machine Learning. There's a lot in there. You can use it today. You don't have to go to Watson. It's a bit frightening. You can download libraries, start using this today. And actually, if you use Azure ML, you don't need to employ somebody who's good in a doctor in mathematics or something. I don't say it's easy, especially not to make this work in an intelligent way that the customers like and make us productive and automate. I don't think it's easy. But the means are already there. The technology are already there. And you're not directly talking about artificial intelligence. It's a little bit about that. It's machine learning, which is a part of artificial intelligence. So, enough about that part. As I said, my prediction is that next year you will be able to show something. We discussed, to mention that we had a meeting last week with a company who applied machine learning to the prognosis forecasting in SuperOffice. They took out all the sales activities. They looked at what each salesperson had done, what kind of pattern they were using, how they were dealing with how often they were delayed, how often the updates, the quality, everything. Looked into teams, where they saw that the different teams are different, and they made a variety of forecasts based on machine learning techniques. Interesting. I don't know if they work, if it provides some valuable information, but you could choose different profiles, and not only based on the exact things that the salespeople have put in, but learning from the history. If you continuously are a salesperson that are optimistic, that has to be adjusted down to something which fits the reality. And you can learn that by looking back. Interesting. Okay. I have 3 topics now. It's a little bit more short term than this. I'll go through them. Before I do that, I just want to repeat the challenges we had in 2010. The market trend at that point was called SMAC. It was about social, mobile, analytics, and cloud. And this is SuperOffice response to these challenges. We built the cloud platform, we automated our internal processes, we blah, 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 blah. I can't say that anymore. I'm done with it. So it's more interesting to look at this one. What are the trends now? More cloud, productivity through technology, machine learning and artificial intelligence, automate, digitize, robotize, the Internet of Things, and simplification. So how are we going to meet these challenges? By making a plan. Of course, we're going to continue developing our cloud platform. We are not done. Lots of stuff are going to happen on the cloud platforms side. We will, as I said, provide our customers with intelligent tools for CRM automation. We will still focus on application usability. We cannot beat our competitors with more functionality. We cannot beat them with technology. But we can make a difference in the way we make our applications, the way we design it, the user interface. We have a good history, and we can make a difference at that point. And of course, we are in the same business ourselves. We have to automate the operations of SuperOffice as a company, not only for the customers, so that is also part of our future. So we're working on a plan. We have a plan. We have several plans, actually. And it's even called a bimodal plan. You know, bimodal, the term used for thinking both in long and short terms. We have to do that. We have to try. Do you think, if you try to look, and you can do that in these 3 days, and we can discuss it, how do you foresee a CRM application in 5 to 10 years? What does it look like? And think about the automate, robotize thing. What does the customers expect inside sales, marketing, and service? Do you think they will change a lot, do more automation? Do you think it's a good vision to have? I don't have a Kahoot, but provide us feedback. I think so. We hope so. We have made plans inside all these areas. We are going to develop new functions. We have to improve our technology. The App Store is a fantastic opportunity, both for us, the customers, and the partners, centralized. And improving our APIs. Talk more about that after lunch with Tony. Our operations. We have to excel in operations, be secure, cost efficient, lots of stuff. We have to continue working with our processes, development processes, and of course our internal systems. But besides that, we have to deliver every 3 weeks, by the way. So we have to have a short-term plan, and we have to make sure that the short-term plan is according to the long-term. This is textbook learning. I mean, all went to school and learned this. The tricky thing is to do it, actually. But we have plans for all these areas, actually. One thing that we have to talk about is privacy. You know, probably all of you, what happened in May this year, April, May. The EU Commission made new laws, regulations for privacy. It was based on, there was scattered local laws in Europe, most of them from the 90s. And then the NSA scandal came along with Snowden affairs. Google and Facebook has been there. E-shopping, internet, everything. So they put on a committee to make a new one. And they approved that in May 2016. It's out there, you can read it. And we have to get compliant. We have to do the necessary things to get compliant before May 24th. You have to be ready by the 6th of May, and it goes into effect, this law, by the 24th of May. So what does it mean? I'll try to explain some of it. Privacy is, first of all, it's made for protecting people, providing them a personal life. That's why it's made. Very important issue. And the old laws was not good enough. It provides the person's access to own data and the right to be forgotten. It defines what is privacy data. It's a lot. I mean, address, email address, phone numbers, pictures of your face, your iris. There's a lot of personal data. What is sensitive data? It's more sex, religion, political stuff, that kind of stuff. I think you know most of it. But it's very, very concrete defining what is what. And what you are allowed to do and what you're not allowed to do. It defines a set of good principles that you as a company have to follow to be compliant. And you have to build a quality management system for your company that handles with privacy. You're not getting away with a document or something. You just have to implement an internal control system. So that when your auditor comes, he will look at it and see that you have this in place, that you can document all the activities, the incident and so forth in a system. And that they are securely stored. And if you are compliant, there are huge fees. I mean, you're talking about 4% of your revenue in fines if you don't follow this. 4%. It's a lot. So, and as far as I can see, this has consequences for our agreements, our documentation, the way we work. Have to build our processes on a quality management system, internal control system. And it also has consequences for our software. And not being compliant does have impact on your business, because you've already experienced that. The customers are asking you about this, at least I have. And currently we don't have the best answers in the world, actually. But it will impact your business, so we just have to work with this. So what is this about? This is a simple picture, and there's 3 different views as I see it, as I define it. Yeah, these laws give the rights to the people, to the persons, and it places some obligations on our company to deal with this. And persons in that context is the customer employees, your own employees, partner employees, and any other person that get in contact with your company. And then there's 2 different things you have to consider. One is what you as a company does, and what kind of information about persons you store inside your own internal systems. And the other one is the services, products and services you are selling. It's partly 2 different stories. Oops. And it has effect for your applications. You have to provide functions that makes it possible for a person to have insights in the personal data you have registered about him. And he will be able to modify it, change it, and ask for a deletion. Hosting part, if you have a hosting service, you have to make sure it's securely stored. And secure in this context means, of course, technical and physically, but also access rights and everything. You have to document in detail who has access to that database. Who gave that authority? When did you change it? Has to be documented. You're not getting away with something else. On the other hand, it's what you as a company store in your internal systems. That's a different story. So this is where your customer stores their data, and they are responsible for what they are, of course, putting into their SuperOffice. They are they're called the processor. It's responsible for collecting the data. We don't know what kind of user-defined fields our customers are creating and if they put sensitive data into these fields. It's not our responsibility. They have to cope with that against the authorities. But we have to make sure that they can find it if somebody asks for it. So a user-defined field will probably have a property that says, this is sensitive data. You can report on it, and you can protect it from the software side. And that's had an effect on the software. On that side, we are the controller of the data. We are responsible for what we put in the SuperOffice database, in our HR system, payroll system, whatever it is. So there's 3 different areas to work on. I think I've covered this mostly now. So you do the best. You better get started if you haven't already. Status in CRM Online, which is important for us. We have the necessary data processing agreements in place between SuperOffice and our customers, between SuperOffice and Visma IT, which is our hosting partner, and some App Store partners. It's not complete. We should do that. We're dealing with personal data. We should have the right agreements. We have a security and privacy policy. All of us have to have that, and it's embedded in our online agreement. And Visma ITC, our hosting partner, has, now we're talking about security, they are ISO 27001 security management certified. That's important. Maybe the most important thing when it comes to CRM Online, that they're securely stored. The customer is responsible. We have poor features by now for finding this data and helping the customer finding them and deleting them. But they're secure. You can never find them. Okay, enough about privacy. I have to say a few words about technology as well. And I chose this topic because it will mean something for a lot of us and for the customers. We have defined a new client technology platform picture. And it's called Skill. We have a separate session on that tomorrow, I think. Learning how to use the Skill libraries or IDs. This is a target for our new clients. So what will happen now is that this is a new library, a new technology, a new architecture. And we will work to take our sales client, existing code. You know, we have 2 clients, I don't have to explain you that, and the service client, and merge them into one physical client. And why do we do that? There are benefits from a development view. It's not a nice thing to have 2 different clients, 2 different technology stacks and everything that comes with that. But it's also for the seen from a customer. This technology will make our application fast and snappy. It's JavaScript and HTML5 and that kind of stuff. It's state of the art. It will enable the merge of these 2 clients from a functional viewpoint. No more 2 selections, no more, you know, a lot about that. We will remove them and harmonize them. We will be able to put the ticket into the diary if we want that. That haven't been designed yet. But. So it opens up. And of course, we are using, as it said here, we are using the browser is the new OS. So the JavaScript is being executed at the PC, the Mac or whatever, reducing the load on the server, making it more snappy. So it's a win-win-win situation, actually. Lost traffic on the server makes online more responsive. It's also a good thing for cost. So this is great, I think. Opens up lots of new possibilities. And then, since this is expandable, new topic, expand the services, and a sketch to show you that we have 4 different customizing models, and it's evolving. This is a bit complex, but you can cope with that, I suppose. Along this, we have 4 different models. And along this, I place them in this axis. Down here, you need high programming expertise to do the job. If it's up there, you don't need programming skills at all. Assimilation is the way you're able to integrate the things you are doing into SuperOffice. How deep is the integration or the assimilation? Can the customer see that this is a separate application, or is it just taken up into the product? This one is perfect. Very cheap, the administrator can do it, but it's very expensive for R&D, for all of us, to develop, because we have to foresee the flexibility and do the programming, but then the administrator can go in, set preferences, and change the behavior of the product. It's very deep assimilated, because you can't really see that as an addition at all. That's a perfect solution for the customer. Cheap, assimilated, perfect. Don't forget that. Microsoft is actually, when it comes to online, they are talking about this one as the primary goal. Because they can't copy the other ones, of course. The second one, down here, requires high expertise, but gives you a deep integration assimilation. Customized code. You change the code of the original product. If you work with the page framework or the web client, you can do that. Not many have done that, but you can do that. You can work with the source code. That's only on-site. But we want to do the same in the cloud, and we don't think anybody has been able to offer that yet. And that's why we are in a project called Cirrus, together with Visma and Sintef in Norway. A big project is about 60 million NOK. We get 20 million Norwegian kroner from the Research Council of Norway. And we're doing it over 4 years to investigate and do research on how to do that, because it's against the rules. I mean, public cloud is one size fits all, and then say, not good. We want to offer you a customized solution in the public cloud. Can't be done, can it? Well, we'll see. This one is what is called cloud native language. There is a certain customization model that is very suited for the cloud. We didn't invent that. I don't remember exactly who created that term, but it's about scripting, custom tables, custom screens. Do you recognize this model? Service. So I wouldn't say by chance, but it actually is that this model of customization is perfect for the cloud. Everything goes into the cloud. There's no own development, everything. It's built onto our platform. These are all what I will call one-off solutions. You make it individually for each customer. They can't be reproduced. So this one is perfect for standardized applications. This is the App Store. And listen, you're using the APIs, and it's called side-by-side because you have a different cloud and they're talking together through the APIs. It's a robust solution because we don't have to work that close. And as long as the APIs stay fairly stable, it's a good solution. And a different business model, different pricing, it's flexible. So it's definitely a good solution, but it's working with the APIs. So then you have the four. And this one actually have standard apps, scalability, pricing, everything that comes with that. But again, custom app opens up for using the APIs to make custom solutions. There are news in these two boxes. You will hear more about them if you're able to stay awake the rest of the day. That's my last slide, because this only is a short introduction to what Erik and Sverre will talk about. This is the mandate, different areas, functional areas and a bit more that we have decided to work on. No surprise that automation is the keyword here in many of the boxes. We will work targeted to do marketing automation, sales automation, service automation. We will improve the mobile solution, Pocket CRM, office automation, of course, always call it that, integration to the cloud office solutions. After lunch, you'll hear more. Privacy, the merge of sales and service, new product features in addition. You know, when it started in 2008, going back there, since 2008, of course, we built the cloud platform and the community and the app store and everything. But we also delivered 7.0, 7.5, 8.0 in the same period with new features. So we are luckily able to do a bit more than just focusing on technology. Much more, actually. And at the bottom, to make the story short, usability, simplification, special project to improve that. Don't never forget that. It's the most important thing we do. So that's my last slide. Should I say something?